Greetings, YouTube. I apologize. This is my first video I've ever done or uploaded or anything like that. I apologize if I'm not looking at the camera enough because I'm really distracted looking at the screen right here. Just I see the green bar going up and down, and I see my face moving. I'm also looking at this document I made real quick, just kind of like an outline of what the video is and what kind of like notes. But if you kind of guessed by the name of this channel, I'm a Christian. Very proud of it. I'm happy what God has done for my life. Just sending His Son for me to die on the cross and to rise again for my sins. It's really awesome. That really speaks volume to me, and I'm really thankful for it. But some of you may be wondering about the metal part, and I'm into metal. I love metal a lot, not as much as God. And I just felt compelled to make a video about this. Just been seeing a lot of negative comments, and I don't think they're fair. I'm into both secular and Christian metal, but mostly Christian metal, and I'm also into other genres of music, mostly hip hop and acoustic, and other kinds of things like that. But I want to just really kind of talk about metal right now because yesterday I've been getting into this one band called War of Ages, and just really love their music. They're a really good Christian band. They have some really solid lyrics, and so yesterday I was online. I was looking at some videos on YouTube, and I was watching the War of Ages video. And off to the side, they got the YouTube related section, and they had it was about two videos on there that were criticizing Christian rock. And I clicked on one of them because I wanted to see. Because realistically, I love metal. But, I mean, honestly, if there was something in the Bible that said, don't listen to metal, it'd be hard, but I'd try to stay away from metal. But, so far, reading through the Bible, looking at verses, nothing has come up that says anything like that. But I'm open to it. I mean, if anybody has anything, feel free to tell me about it, because if it's in there, what else can I say? I follow the book to the letter. But I was looking at this video, and the guy, we've been about the late 80s, early 90s, and the guy, he was one of those guys that gets the callers to call in, and the caller calls in about Striper. It's a Christian band, Christian heavy metal band from that era. Not only the pioneer of Christian heavy metal, but I'd also say modern day Christian music in general. Just they really paved the way for a lot of artists. And they broke through a little bit in the mainstream, but anyway, the guy, he felt like they weren't Christian though, because they had concerts where they were on stage with fireworks, and where they also had hairstyles, the classic heavy metal hairstyles from the 80s. And they had the spandex, and complete with everything that basically the secular artists had. To him, all of that automatically made them not Christian. And admittedly, I turned it off after that, because I was just like, this guy, he has no valid argument for his view, just like most people do that make these claims. And so I clicked off, but I got kind of upset about it, and I get real upset about a lot of them. I see a lot of them on the internet, and just now you probably noticed that I have slick kind of mohawk kind of thing going on. I haven't had a haircut in a while, so it's a little messy. It just looks kind of like normal right now. But anyway, I kind of wonder like about that kind of stuff. Like when I walk down the street and I go to a church and stuff like that. Like, do people think I'm automatically like a punk? Like gonna knock over some old lady with a skateboard, or am I gonna go graffiti on some wall or something? And it seems like a lot of people they do that nowadays, especially in church. And that's sad to say that. This church is supposed to be the place where, like, come as you are, you know, come to Jesus. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. But I'm gonna admit, a lot of churchgoers are some very judgmental people, unfortunately. And it's not just people like Jimmy Swaggart from the '80s. This other guy. There's a lot of people nowadays that still do it, and I think it's just ignorance, it's hate, and it's probably just self-righteous people that make themselves feel good. But definitely their attitude is not biblical. If you look at 1 Samuel 6, yeah, it's 1 Samuel 16:7. Paraphrasing, but it basically talks about man looks on the outward appearance of another man, but God looks on the inward of men. Pretty self-explanatory, talking about, men judge each other based on physical appearances, whereas God actually is able to look onto our hearts, basically saying, well, you're not living a right life, you don't have the right thoughts, He's the ultimate judge, the righteous judge. And then in Matthew 7:20, we have Jesus talking. I mean, the whole chapter of Matthew 7, I've read this chapter a lot of times. It all has to do with judging. His particular verse, Matthew chapter 7, verse 20, talks about you will know people by their fruits. It's basically, you'll know people based on how they act and what they say. And when you look at a lot of this Christian metal, I mean, is there really anything that you can, kind of argue with in their music? I mean, if you can, yeah, they're not Christian. I will agree, if the band is talking about killing people or having sex with their neighbor's wife or, committing adultery, well, I guess it isn't, or having fornication or, something like that, something that is against the Bible, then yes, I will agree with you. But for the most part, a lot of these Christian bands that you're attacking, no, they have real solid lyrics. And yeah, there are a lot of them that do have vague lyrics, like Demon Hunter, for instance. You can feel spirituality in their lyrics, but you don't actually see the words like God or Jesus or the Holy Spirit actually appear. But then for some other bands, like War of Ages, you do. This is one song I've been listening to for a while called The Awakening. And there's this one part of the song, I know part of the words to it, but every time I hear it, I feel real close to God. And it just basically goes, God, I'm on my knees suffering. Is this all I am? Please heal my pain. Lift me up and hold me close to your heart. To me, I kind of break down every time I hear it. I feel really close to God. It's my moment of worship when I'm listening to music like this. To be honest, when I'm in a church service, everybody's worshiping, the songs that they have, I'm sorry, I don't feel the same presence that they do. I'm not saying that their music is wrong, just saying I have a different taste of music, and I don't know, I guess I get distracted from it because I don't like it. But in this music, I feel it, and I like the music, I like the beat, I like everything, and somehow it just really gets me close to God. I'll be in my car, I'll be working on homework, I'll be doing all kinds of things, and I'll be singing these songs, and I know the words to a lot of them, and sometimes I'll know most of the words, and I'll just be praising God and worshiping Him and enjoying His presence. That's my time of worship. And I realize, everyone worships in their own way, in their own style, to their own genre of music. And that's why I just kind of feel it's kind of unfair when people say you're of the devil because you like this certain type of music. And I realize none of us should care what these people think. Problem is that their false doctrine is catching hold of a lot of people. I mentioned Jimmy Swaggart, and he wrote a book on it actually in the 80s, maybe later, I don't know. It's on Amazon, and I looked at it, and there's about 4 comments on there, and 2 of them are people that are upset with the message in the book, and then there's 2 other people that actually agree wholeheartedly with the message in the book. Kind of found it interesting. The 2 people that disagreed, they provided, I know for sure, one of them provided biblical passages, supported their beliefs. I'm almost positive the other person did, and I'm almost positive the other 2 that agreed with the book had no biblical passages to support their view. I mean, you can go ahead and look for yourself. I don't have a link to it or anything. But this, a lot of people, they fall for this stuff like what Jimmy Swaggart was talking about, and it doesn't sound like they. This one guy on Amazon, he follows it so much that he was like, a lot of people that are newcomers to Christ, that come through Christian rock, they seems like they only come because of worldly lust or something about worldly, because I guess he was talking about the sound. What these people fail to realize, though, is that it's funny. Only a few years ago did it just start becoming acceptable in the church for people to come in dressed how basically I am. Most people before used to come in only with a suit. My grandma and grandpa refused for years. I don't know if it was just an excuse for them not to go or not, but they said lots of times, I'm not going to church because I don't have a suit. And look where we are now. I mean, practically nobody wears a suit to church. It's actually uncommon for you to. Most churches, I'm saying. And then years ago, soft rock and roll, like like Elvis Presley and stuff like that, was viewed as of the devil. Now music that's even harder than that is played in our own churches. Don't you find that funny? Like, it's just changed. Now all this stuff. But it's sad though. These same people that were being told that they were of the devil, past generations, are now passing it on to the new generations because it's something different. To me personally, I don't like this new generation. I don't like the new music. I don't like the pop. I don't like this indie rock. I don't like a lot of this stuff. But I have seen a lot of Christian artists that play in these sorts of genres. And I don't like the music. I don't. But I hold my tongue a lot of times. I don't get on their YouTube pages and say, man, your video is such crap. Your song is such crap, I don't like it. You're of the devil, this kind of stuff. Because I realize that they're reaching an audience that needs Christ. And realistically, when you get down to it, lots of our youth in this world, they listen to this music and they memorize the words without even knowing that they're memorizing the words. Little kids rapping songs don't even know what they're rapping. They just know they're rapping something that Lil Wayne said or Eminem said, And got other people that might be memorizing metal songs. Other people that might be memorizing Katy Perry or an LMFAO song or Black Eyed Peas song. It's like, wouldn't you rather kids learn something, memorize something that had to do with God, praising God, or bettering themselves? And that's what a lot of these artists do in the Christian genres that are kind of taboo. Lecrae, he's a Christian rapper, and his songs are really cool too. My cousin actually was living in sin for a long time. He fell away from God when he was a little kid. He went off doing all sorts of bad stuff that most teens do, having sex with his girlfriend, on and on. And but he was into rap, and I don't know how he got into it, but somebody gave him a copy of Lecrae, or he got a hold of it. Oh, said it was because of a rap website called can't remember the name of it. But anyway, Lecrae was on this website, and he heard Lecrae, and it changed his life. Isn't that awesome? Like, I don't think Lecrae really changed his life as much as it put him on the right path. And that's when he started going to church and started really trying to get right. He even married his girlfriend, and his girlfriend changed. Now they're about to have a kid too. I'm really proud of him. But anyway, music is powerful, and I've done the same thing with Lecrae's music. I've made copies of his mixtape Church Clothes because I found that album absolutely amazing. And a lot of people got down on Lecrae for that album too, because he had I guess it was a non-Christian, produced the beats for the album. It wasn't even the lyrics, it was just the beats. And the beat of a rap song is basically just the background. So it'd be basically like a rock song. Imagine a Beatles song without anyone singing. That's what the beat is. People got upset that a non-Christian actually made that. But that's actually what helped make his success for that album. And it gave it to a lot of people. A lot of people really started to change their mind. Some people, they still haven't, but I can see progress in their life. And I'm helping them move towards that thanks to the CD and other CDs by Lecrae and other artists. See lots of people coming to Christ because of Demon Hunter and other metal artists too. And one guy, everyone should know him. He was even in the news. Brian Welch, also known as Head, who became a Christian and left Korn. And you look at his YouTube videos, see dozens of comments about people turning their lives over for Christ. Not only that too, people are looking at their lives again, and they're stopping a lot of addictions, just like he did, because he was addicted to some drugs and other kinds of things. And when he turned his life over to Christ, that's when he says that he started to change. It's really awesome to see that, see a lot of people doing that. And isn't that awesome? Isn't it? Or do you want to shut him up? Him and Lecrae and other artists, they're actually making a difference in this world. Christ, and also just for the betterment of mankind. I'm really happy for a lot of these artists, and I'm really glad that they're here. I watched a lot of metal artists die off in the 90s because of a lack of support from the Christian community. Fortunately, I was too young, and there was no internet. I was very shy, so I wasn't able to pass along their music as easily. A lot of these good bands died off because they gotta eat. They weren't making any money. And I just kind of wonder if they would have done well. I think a lot of them, they would have gone into the mainstream. A lot of these secular anti-God bands you see today, I don't think they'd be as high as they are. And I don't think they'd have the same messages that they do. I think our kids would be singing a lot different tunes. Since a few Christians out there simply don't like a genre of music, they feel like it needs to be labeled as satanic. Jesus talks about that though. Talks about that we'll be held accountable for every person we help. I can't remember the exact words they used. Basically, it was about be held accountable for all those you help stumble and those not come to Christ. Just think about it, like, if these metal bands didn't succeed, how many people wouldn't be Christians today? I'm not telling anybody to get into secular music, but because I listen to some secular bands, I've made some friends with people, and I have people be like, hey, I like Iron Maiden too, and I'll be like, I like Iron Maiden, I like this song and that song. They're like, that's cool. And then I'll be like, hey, I know some other bands, and I'll pass along some Christian alternatives. I'm not telling anybody, should go out and listen to all the secular music, just so you can do that. But I'm saying music is a powerful tool, and it might be the stepping stone to help somebody move along closer to Christ. So I'd like for all the Christians that are judgmental of this kind of music to just stop and think next time. Is this person's appearance really that important to God? Or is their heart and their mind, is that more important? And to me, it just seems like it'd be their heart and mind. God doesn't seem like a God that cares how you wear your hairstyle, how you dress, just as long as you love Him and you try to obey what is in His Word. Hopefully things change. And hopefully I don't grow older and think that newer generations are satanic too. But thank you for listening to me. And pray for everybody. Pray for this whole industry and this whole world. And I urge everybody else to do the same. Pray for all these musical artists too. Thank you all. God bless.